abundant. So with that, welcome to my Facebook Live, where we are going to talk about the do-it-yourself website, the pros and cons of building your own website as an entrepreneur. So with this, I stated earlier on my Facebook story, as well as on my Instagram story, the importance of why I'm talking about this topic. And I will reiterate that here so that you all will know as well if you were not, if you did not view those stories. So with this, oftentimes I run into entrepreneurs and bloggers, whether they are budding entrepreneurs, whether they are roughly established entrepreneurs, and they want to either design their website or redesign their website. What I see most times is that, or what I know for sure, as most times is that as a entrepreneur, when you're starting out, you have a very small marketing budget, and oftentimes you may not even have a marketing budget at all. So that leaves you to trying to figure out how to navigate this digital space or this marketing space all on your own with little to no knowledge. So as you are, as you are doing that, my goal is to assist you in making sure that all your marketing efforts are going to be beneficial for you as an entrepreneur, right? So as an entrepreneur, we know that time is literally money. So where you spend your time and where you are investing your time, you want that to reap a harvest and be very beneficial to you, because the goal is to grow your business, is to grow your brand. So because you have small marketing budgets, or because there may not be a marketing budget, but you need social media marketing and you need a website, because that's how you are going to thrive as an entrepreneur. Why? Because most people find you in the digital space. They find your business online. They interact with your business online before they ever meet you in person, if they meet you in person at all. It really depends on what your business is. It really depends on what your brand is. So with that, we are left with this idea of, if you don't have a marketing budget, or if you have a very small marketing budget, you try your best to allocate those funds where they may be most beneficial. So many times I see people who get their cousin, auntie, uncle, friend to design their website just because it's going to save them a few dollars up front, not understanding that it is going to cost you more in the end if you don't do something correct the first time around. So with that, if you have a website, or if you are trying to redesign your website as an entrepreneur, I just want to help you out with a little bit of pros and cons of what that means. And this is going to be fairly simple. I have 3 points. It's going to be quick. So please stick around and interact, because I do have a special announcement for you at the end of this video. So my first point is, just because you can do it doesn't mean that you should. So just because someone that you know knows how to build a website, but they don't have a portfolio, may not mean that you should spend your money, even though it's going to cost you less in the beginning, with that person, right? You need to invest in your business. So I understand, as a person who does digital marketing, as a website designer, how much it costs to have a website, right? So off back, industry standards for a website is at least $5,000, right? So you, as a small business owner, may not have that in your marketing budget, and that's okay. But even with doing your own website, there are still some protocols that you need to adhere to when it comes to being successful, right? So with this, we think about the skill set that is needed to build a website. So I'm going to use the analogy of baking a cake, right? So if you've never baked a cake before and you're going in the kitchen and you're just going to figure it out, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be good. Or what you're going to do is to call on the experts that you know how to bake a cake. So that may be your mom, that may be your auntie, that may be your grandma. You're going to call them and say, hey, how do you do this? And how do you do this correctly? Because what don't you want to waste is your money that you spent on buying the ingredients to get to the end product. With your website, it's the same thing. You don't want to waste your money because as an entrepreneur, it's not a lot of money that you have starting out, flat out. So you want to make sure that you either call an expert that is going to help you through the process to do it right and correct the first time, or you're going to waste your time and your money doing it, and then you have to turn around and start all the way over. So with that, when we think about website design, there is a level of skill set. I've been designing websites for 8 years. I started doing this in undergrad back in 2010, right? So that means I started off like, if I look at the first website I did, probably absolutely terrible. But if I look at a website that I've completed in 2018, it looks amazing. So obviously there was a process that had to take place, a learning curve that had to take place. I've taken classes, I've learned HTML coding, JavaScript, CSS, front end, back end, all these things that make up a website of what you see as the end user. There are so many components that happen on the back end that you will never see. So if you are designing your website, it is going to look like a foreign language to you because you may not understand what that language looks like, right? So HTML language is different from CSS language. CSS language is different from JavaScript language. And all of this makes up a website, right? So just to put that in more layman terms, when we think about JavaScript, JavaScript is when you're on a website and you're scrolling down and then something pops up that says, hey, sign up for our mailing list. Something pops up that says, hey, we have a sale going on, click here. That's JavaScript. But in reality, JavaScript is just a whole bunch of coding and it's really all algebra based. So it's numbers and backslashes and commas and all these crazy things that get to this one little pop-up box. So there again is a skill level that is required, as each of us know, with each profession. You have to work your way through the ranks. So just again, like baking a cake, either you call the expert or you don't get it right the first time and you have to start all the way over. With that, again, we understand that time is money. So as an entrepreneur, you may not have a lot of time to revamp something. You need to get it right on the first attempt, right? Or as close as possible to being right on the first attempt. So you have to use your time very wisely and very efficiently. What you will learn is that a lot of top entrepreneurs, what they do very well is that they have a team surrounding them that is helping them to get to where they want to be. You cannot do this all on your own. No man is an island. As much as we want to harbor all of our funds, as much as we want to keep the money that's coming in, you have to outsource. You have to be very resourceful in your outsourcing to get the people that you need that is going to help build your brand and that is going to help you to thrive. So spend your time very wisely. The next thing that I see when it comes to time, when it comes to building your own website, is that you will spend a lot of time trying to figure out, if you don't have any guidance, if you don't have any help, and you're just sitting there on your laptop or your computer trying to do your own website by yourself, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what is one thing or one component on a website that a professional person would have been able to do in a matter of 30 minutes. So then you'll find yourself Googling everything in order to get to this one thing. You'll find yourself on what I like to call as YouTube University, because we know that we can find the answer to any solution on YouTube, and you're going to find yourself watching hundreds of tutorial videos that is going to cost you more time in the long run as an entrepreneur. So what you want to do is to spend your time, again, wisely and effectively doing what it is that you love to do and leave these other tedious tasks to other persons. The third thing that I want to talk about is the purpose of design. So oftentimes when I see persons designing their own websites is that they don't begin with the end in mind. So if you are going to do your own website, then you need to begin with the end in mind. This is what I teach my students at Hampton University in my web design class. they have to go through so many processes before they get to actually touch their website. They don't even begin to build a website to the second half of the semester. So that means the first month and a half, we're talking about coding, we're doing branding, we're doing so many other elements that people don't think about when it comes to building your website. So with this, again, you have to begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind means that who is going to use your website? Most times people look at their website, they're like, oh, this looks good, right? And you're thinking about you and how this looks to you and not how it's going to look to your target audience, your consumers, the person who's going to buy your product and service. How does that website look to them? Because that's who you want it to look great to, because that's the person that's going to increase your revenue, right? So you have to begin with the end in mind. Who's going to use this website? How are they going to navigate this website? What we find very often is that persons will come to a website and they'll be on the homepage and they never navigate throughout the website because the homepage was not it. I know for sure of those of you who are watching this video, just comment yes if you've ever gone to a website and you've looked at the homepage and you've left the website just based on the homepage. Right? So just based on what that looks like, you didn't even funnel through to see what else was happening, right? Because you have to begin with the end in mind. You want to increase your revenue as an entrepreneur. You want to make sure that your time is spent in a very wise way, okay? So when we think about beginning with the end in mind, thank you, Kirsten, absolutely. We think about beginning with the end in mind, that means that you have to understand the fundamentals of your website, right? So the fundamentals of your website, everything in your business has to start with your brand and your brand identity. So when we think about your website, you need to understand what is the brand message, what is the tone of voice, what are the color schemes, what are the images, what are the call to actions that you're going to use on your website that is going to be compelling enough to get people to purchase your service, to get people to buy your product. That's why you're in business. You're in business to make money and to make sure that your time is going to be used wisely doing what you love to do. That's why people go into business, because they want to do what they love to do. So with that, the purpose of your website, that's something that a lot of people overlook in the rush to get to all the fun stuff, right? You just want to say, I have a website, xyz.com, and you're not really bringing in your consumers who are going to interact and to purchase from you and your brand. Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time. The reason that you are in business is to make money. The reason that you are in business is to obviously create a legacy, because you want to do something for yourself that will also benefit your family in the long run. It's called longevity. The second point that I talked about was time. You want to use your time very wisely and effectively as an entrepreneur. So that means that you need to build an effective team. That means that you need to outsource things that may not come easy to you, such as doing your website. The first point that I talked about was a level of skill set and understanding what it really means to bake a cake. You just can't go in the kitchen and think you can bake a cake if you've never baked a cake before. So all those things play into your website. These are all pros and cons of what is going to mean to actually build your website as an entrepreneur and to build it on your own. So I recommend having some type of guidance. There are a lot of business coaches or consultants that you can utilize to build your website. I understand that we have a lot of drag and drop templates out that are available now, but even still, you don't want your website to look generic and cheesy like the next person's website if you're using a template that is common on a platform that is overused. So when we think about that, you still want to be very unique in your approach, because you want people to stay when they come to your website. So I do have a solution to all of this, guys, because I, again, understand that small business owners are working on a small budget, particularly for their marketing, because you are investing your money into other things that are going to increase your revenue, such as whatever it is that you do. So I know that Kirsten is a makeup artist. So she is obviously buying products for the purpose of having her clients sit in her chair and be glammed. Okay. So with this, I am doing a web design one-on-one masterclass for entrepreneurs, okay, to solve this problem that I'm seeing, because I know sometimes people come to me and they cannot afford the services that I have, but I still want to help you because I want you to be successful, because I believe in the power of entrepreneurship. I'm an entrepreneur. I get it. Absolutely. So in everything that you do, I want to make sure that you are successful. So if I can help in any type of way, I'm going to make sure that I help. That's just me, and that's just who I am. So with that, again, I'm doing a web design one-on-one masterclass for entrepreneurs. This is going to be here in Hampton Roads area. It is going to, I'm thinking about changing this date, so don't lock this in. It's either going to be on the 12th, which is next week, or it's going to be on the 19th. I think I'm leaning towards the 19th. It's going to be held at the Zechariah Hughes Community Center, which is a part of Second Calvary Baptist Church, because my pastor also believes in the power of entrepreneurship. Okay, so with this, if you are a part of this Facebook Live, if you are in Hampton Roads, Virginia, I am going to give you $20 off of this course. This masterclass is only $75 to attend the masterclass. To build your website. We're going to build your website literally from start to finish. So you are going to walk out of this masterclass with a completed website. Okay, so you cannot beat this. Again, the charge is $75. I'm going to teach you how to build your website from start to finish. The tentative dates are the 12th, May 12th, or the 19th, which is the upcoming 2 Saturdays that we have. Start time is going to be at 1 p.m. If you go to web design 101 masterclass.eventbrite.com, and I'm going to type that in here as well. Web design 101 masterclass.eventbrite.com, and use the promo code DIY18. And that is going to get you $20 off of the $70 price. So that means that your website price, if you do this by tomorrow, okay? So I'm giving you 24 hours. If you do it by tomorrow night at 9 p.m., you get $20 off of the ticket price. So the ticket price is $75. So that means your sale will be $55 to learn how to build your website from scratch. From start to finish. Okay. For those of you who are on here who are not in the Hampton Roads area, so if you are in my hometown of Detroit, if you are anywhere else in the world, I am also going to offer a private class for you. So a private class for you. And if you are interested in having information about that, please comment using your email address, and I am going to send you an email, and you will also get a discounted price for that service if you send me your stuff right now. If you send it to me right now or by midnight tonight, for those who are in Detroit or any other metropolitan area across the United States, if you are interested in having this masterclass as a private class just for you to coach you through building your website, again, from start to finish, in a 3 to 4 hour masterclass, I am going to also offer you a discount. Please drop your email address in the comment section. Again, that is for those who are in Detroit or any other places that is not Hampton Roads, Virginia. But again, for those who are in Hampton Roads, Virginia, the masterclass is going to be a live masterclass, and it is going to take place either on the 12th or the 19th. Right now, the date I have is for the 12th, but I may change that because I just realized it's Mother's Day weekend. So please be on alert for me to make a final announcement of that date. If you are in Hampton Roads, Virginia, please use the discount code on the Eventbrite page, which is webdesign101 masterclass.eventbrite.com. Webdesign101 masterclass.eventbrite.com. Use the promo DIY, all caps, DIY18 for $20 off. Please do that by tomorrow, which is Friday the 4th at 9 p.m. to receive that discount for this masterclass. And that's pretty much it, guys. I just want to see everyone be successful on their entrepreneur journeys, because I know the difficulties of navigating entrepreneurship, and I know how hard it is to do things that you have no idea that you're doing, right? You're trying to figure it out on your own and applying to YouTube University to watch a million tutorials just to figure out one answer. Then it takes you hours to do that, right? I am going to be the professional to guide you through doing your website on your own. You will walk out of either this private session or the masterclass with a full website, okay? You can't beat this. Again, if you are in Hampton Roads, please visit webdesign101masterclass.eventbrite.com. Enter the promo code, all caps, DIY18 for $20 off. That means that your ticket is going to be $55. General admission is $75. If you are in Detroit or any other place, and you're interested in having a masterclass as a private session, please drop your emails and I will send you an email, and you will also receive a discounted rate for that as well. So thank you for joining this live. What platform am I? I'm about to say Instagram. I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I'm sorry. Thank you for joining this Facebook Live about the do-it-yourself website. This was for all of my entrepreneurs, my budding entrepreneurs, established entrepreneurs, bloggers, small business owners, to understand the pros and cons of designing your website on your own. Thank you again.